Number 169, HorseGym with Boots. Introduction to Walk and HOCK Gym. We have 12 obstacles set up around the 100-meter perimeter of this arena. The task is to walk together through and over the obstacles. Boots looks a bit sleepy for some of these shots because I had to move the camera 15 times to get all the angles. Here she's snoozing during one of the camera shifts. We've walked through a gap, over some rails, and now we're going through a lane of rails, which leads us to step up on a pedestal. The pedestals are the only places I'm giving a click and treat because she knows this really well already. Need her to step down. Let her take all the time she needs. Then we're going to step across the rail and pause, and then walk on to go between the two uprights and through a lane made out of a rail, and then across two more rails, which brings us to the second pedestal, which we haven't used for quite a long time, so she's working it out. And there. And that's the second click and treat. And backing off. And heading off to the next obstacle, which is a raised rail. So across that. Then through a narrow gap. Over half barrels. Another narrow gap, and we're back to where we started. And we're going to repeat in the opposite direction, which puts me on the horse's right side, coming through that narrow gap, over the half barrels, another narrow gap, over the raised rail, which brings us back to the pedestal, front feet on the pedestal. She's a little bit smoother getting up there this time. And asking her to back off. Turn and head back over those two rails. Through the lane between the uprights, across a single rail, no halt this time, and up to the tire pedestal. Note that the rope is kept loose the whole way around because she knows all these now. We're through the long rail lane, across a raised rail and the second rail, through a narrow gap, which finishes the second circuit. At first we can click and treat completion of each obstacle, then after 2 obstacles, then 3, and so on until we only click and treat for the challenging ones like the pedestals in this case. Generalizations: we can add halts, backups, trot intervals, mini circles to repeat an obstacle, sidestep along rails, halt and wait for duration, lead by walking in front of the horse, long rein behind the horse, do it at liberty, add in obstacles to weave, change the order of the obstacles, put in new obstacles, go to different venues.